Hey Roman, it's been a minute since I've been able to give you like a personalized video, so I wanted to go over some things. I know I sent you the one ball routine, and I wanted to go over some other things that might be more core focused for you and help you to stimulate your core a little bit more. And that way you can feel more confident, and it'll also provide a foundation when you get into more of the planks. So the first thing that we're going to do is called the dead bug. And you're going to use the ball, of course. Come down nice and slow. You can roll over to one side and drop down nice and gently. Don't try to strain yourself or your back. And see how I have the natural arch in my back? So I'm going to adjust and drive my lower back into the floor. Now I'm going to lift up both my knees and place the ball right on top and both hands on the ball. So my knees are within my hip line, they're not touching, they're nice and open. What I'm gonna do is extend one leg and then drop one arm. Then I'm gonna pull back. And you'll notice as you do this, it becomes more difficult for you to keep your back pressed into the floor. You don't have to extend as much as I am, I'm strong. So yours might look like this at first, where it's just an extension and a pull back. And then it'll come all the way down and up. All the way down and up. I would aim to do 20. So you're counting to 20. Just one of these is one rep, right? So both hands is essentially 2. Aim to do 20, and if you can, try to do 5 sets of 20, which means you'll have done 100 of them. And I'm pretty sure you've already felt it in your abs right now as we're talking. Next thing, putting our feet up onto the ball. This is another good one. It's gonna help, again, work those glutes, work those hamstrings, and provide more of a foundation to protect your knees, okay? So you wanna put as much of your foot on the ball as possible, and you're going to gently drive your hips up into this, or toward the ceiling, and then lower back down. Again, palms can be down on the floor to press in, and you're driving up and gently coming back. Driving up, coming back. Similarly, you can extend one leg upward and practice that. Up and back. Now, do not feel like you have to be confined in a specific area, right? So the ball moves, it rolls. If you need to make an adjustment where you're kicking out just a bit in order to complete this, same thing with both, then that is A-okay, okay? Because we still want to use as much of this area and into the glutes, lower back and core as possible. So it's okay to let that ball roll, to make room for your expansion and coming back down. Similarly, you're gonna wanna do 20 of these in sets, okay? And then again, this is something that you would try to do 5 sets of 20. Now as I come up, I am keeping my core engaged. My belly button's pulled to spine. So this is my core engaged. I'll show you what it looks like not engaged. See that little pregnant belly? Everybody has that, right? We all have organs. So I pull this in, tight, engaged, not engaged, okay? So make sure that you're in an engaged position. Similarly, we have another core exercise called the pass-through. So I've squeezed the ball in between my ankles and the inner arches of my foot, right here, okay? And this is not only going to be more successful if you have good posture. So that means your big toe and second and third toe come in line with your ankle's aligned with your knee's in alignment with your hip. Just holding this in general is going to be hard. But then we have the pass-through, where we reach up, chin tucked to chest, and we drop. Tap the ball behind us, come back up, and drop it down to the floor, and back up. All the while, we're just like that dead bug position, where we want to keep as much of our back in contact with the mat or the floor If it's truly painful, you could raise your hips a little bit with like a pillow or a block. However, you're gonna get the full benefit if you keep your back on the floor. And all I would do, if you know going all the way to the floor is not happening, just go to a 45-degree angle, come back up, switch. Or go all the way down. Nice. Another one that's a laying exercise, good for the abs, is correcting your actual sit-up. So your actual sit-up is important. A lot of people do this thing where when they sit up, they focus on the curl too soon. Sorry, there you go. They focus on the curling act of it too soon and kind of reach for their toes. And as you can see, I've got this weird curvy spine thing happening, and actually my abs are compressed. And I want my abs to be open. So what we do with the ball is, we want the ball to touch the ceiling. How does that happen? Allowing a rotation in the shoulder blades. So we're gonna press it up to the ceiling to start, and feel what that does, always pushing it up to the ceiling. Come up a little bit higher, little reach, and then all the way up. And then come back down. This is gonna give you more control. Right? If I try to use momentum, I'm gonna end up going forward or toward my toes. But what you want to do is elongate the spine and leave more room for the core to open. So press it on up. Oh, yeah. And exhale. Always focusing upward toward the ceiling. Another key thing that you want to realize too is that your back, in particular this area, is just as much a part of your core as the front of it is. And you probably will see a lot more definition in your back before if you have anything going on up here, but you're actually relatively small. So, and hey, I mean it, you're pretty small, so you take that, all right? But look for your lats, this area here, to start to do some development, and that actually might help with a lot of your back problems and just relieving pain. If you do find that you're getting anything pinched or this activity is causing you stress, it's okay to just start with this first upward motion. That is enough. As you get stronger, you want to go for a little second hold up and down, and then all the way up. Because that requires not just here, that requires your back extensors to have some strength and be able to have flexibility. It also requires your lats to help because they're pushing you forward. And then that range of motion in the upper body is important. So make sure you do the subscapularis, the foam rolling, or a javelin stretch prior to it. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, I love your check-ins. I feel like you're doing a great job. And we'll probably schedule like some body check-in stuff before the holidays.